Okay, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, in today's lesson, we are going to study how to join, how to link, how to connect sentences. So, in the following 2 or 3 videos, we are going to focus on those conjunctions. Of course, English is all about to-be sentences, the 4 basic to-be sentences, imperative sentences, modals, and tense verb sentences. But it is natural that we need to connect them. Okay, so we are going forward, we are proceeding with our subjects one by one, and we will continue. We are increasing our level of English. Okay, naturally, of course. Yes, let me share today's presentation and see what we will study today. Yes, okay. Let me say hello and welcome again. So it's good to be here. It's good to be studying English. It's good to be trying to acquire English. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead. Yes, we join the parts of everything. Okay, we join the parts from time to time to make a whole or to make the whole beautiful and useful. Okay, so what we need connectors, conjunctions to make our sentences, to make our paragraphs, to make our compositions better. Yes. Okay, all right. For example, trip 2, linking words for A, B, C, D, and E, for adding information. And there is the group of conjunctions, the group and conjunctions. For example, furthermore, in addition to, what's more, besides, moreover, apart from that. Okay, similarly, likewise, in addition to that, okay, to connect the similar ideas. Okay. And there is also the group, but group conjunctions, and there are more than 20 conjunctions, such as however, nevertheless, nonetheless. Okay. Still, yet, okay, these are all, and we will see them comprehensively in the advanced level. Okay, and to connect the sequencing ideas with sequencing words, such as firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, and finally, lastly, etc. So we also need phrases to give an example. For example, for instance, namely, that's to say, okay, and summarizing, we also need some useful phrases to sum up, in conclusion, to conclude. Okay. All in all, for example, yes. Dialogue 1. Ersin is able to play an instrument. Furthermore, he can sing beautifully. What 2 things is Tahsin able to do? So Tahsin is able to write stories and or furthermore, moreover, in addition to this, in addition to that, he can illustrate his stories. Yes. Ideas, events, or steps follow one another sequentially or in sequence. They follow one another, they come after one another. First we do something, and then we do another thing, and thirdly, we can do another thing, or another thing happened in the past. Okay. For example, to list the messages, we use first, firstly, etc., and then next, just then, finally. Okay. So, first of all, we perceive something. We get the message. Then we learn it and we perform it. We practice that knowledge, or we think about that knowledge, and we see the result. After performing, after implementing, after practicing, we see the result. Now, let's practice it in a situation, in a context, okay, by filling the gaps, okay. The story of Peter, with sequence words to list points on the same subject, okay? For example, first, Peter became very eager, very willing to write something. Then he sat at his lovely table. After that, he tried to remember every detail of Martin's moving to Paris. And then suddenly he heard the door creaking open while he was about to start writing. And then Lisa, the youngest of the family, came in. Just then she looked at her father cheerfully with a letter in her hand and said, "Father, please start writing your masterpiece after reading your son's letter. It's from Martin." Finally, in the end, Peter decided to write his story after he had read his son's letter. Okay. Lisa was in the garden when the postman came. Lisa took the letter and gave it to Julia. Julia opened the letter but didn't read it. She told Lisa to take it to Peter because she immediately noticed that it wasn't for her, but it was for Peter. Privacy. Because of privacy, Peter should read it. Okay. She told Lisa to Peter, we said, because she immediately noticed that it wasn't for her, but it was for Peter. Okay. Joining sentences with sequence words of time and some other joining or linking words, connectors or conjunctions. Okay. Help somebody with something. First, the sky turned or went gray or went dark. Then it began to rain. A few minutes later, an old man appeared. After that, the old man tried to find his way under the showering rain. And then he fell down into the ditch next to the road. Next, he tried to stand and climb up the ditch desperately, but he couldn't. Fortunately, just then, a young man appeared. he told him not to worry. Finally, he took the old man home to be helpful to him. Who was on the road when the rain began to fall? Of course, an old man was on the road when the rain began to fall. Robert opened the window first, Robert opened the window and saw the hapless, unlucky man. He asked the old man almost 7 or 8 questions, but he didn't answer even one of them. He seemed helpless, nervous, and worried because the weather was stormy, windy, and rainy. He had no money, no home, and no relatives. So he accepted to go with that young man. Okay, joining sentences with firstly, secondly, thirdly to list points on the same subject. We use, however, from the but group to introduce the opposing ideas. We use moreover to introduce the similar ideas and adverb clauses of time, before, after, while, until, if, when, etc., etc., after which we do not use will, future, as they are adverb clauses. We use present tense to talk about the even future events. Okay, note, when or if you learn a new thing tomorrow, you will become familiar with it. Okay, so when you learn a new thing tomorrow, we use present tense. We do not use will, future with when adverb clause. Command number 2, for example, no one knows when you will learn it best. So this is not if clause, it is noun clause. So we can use will here. No one knows when you will. No one knows how you will learn. No one knows why you will learn. Okay, English best. Okay, connectors, connect, link, join, words, phrases, and simple sentences to beautify a composition. Yes, a conjunction joins parts of a sentence to make a whole. Okay, now this is an original composition of me. My purpose was to show the importance and the places of those connecting words. Okay, of course, this is an advanced level, but advanced level, of course, to my level of English. Okay, now let's try to focus on the conjunctions in this composition. Okay, how to learn English. This is the most familiar topic to us. Okay. Firstly, you should want to learn English. Secondly, you should make time for learning it. Thirdly, you should get an up-to-date program. Fourthly, you should take clean and neat notes. However, you shouldn't buy more books than you need. Make a plan before you start studying, because planning is somewhat praying. Moreover, make your own sentences after you study every objective in your program. Sometimes listen to slow music, sometimes fast music, and sometimes do not listen to any music while you study or while you are studying. Focus your attention on the topic. Concentrate on the topic. Focus your attention on the topic until you understand it completely. If you understand a subject, try to learn it by doing exercise on it. When you learn a subject, try to study it with someone else. No one knows when you will learn it correctly and fluently. Okay? Either in learning or studying English, we must be aware of our mental, emotional, and spiritual abilities, such as understanding, speaking, reading, writing, producing, memorizing, observing. Observing the outer world should be remotely. Nevertheless, observing the inner world, ourselves, should be closely. Experiencing, applying, doing, remembering, dreaming, deducing, inducing, generalizing, isolating, considering, casual causality and finality. These are all our abilities. This is learning how to learn. Yes, this is the way of learning how to learn. The more active those abilities are, the more we improve our English. As you can see easily, there are all to-be sentences, imperatives, modals, and tense sentences in this composition. But of course, I didn't think about using them while I was writing this composition. Okay, it happens naturally. Yes. I believe that learning English as a foreign language, LEFL, is possible through dialogues based on or predicated on the harmony between accuracy of English grammar and fluency of everyday language or daily language, daily English. For example, if you just teach all the techniques and rules to a person who wants to learn judo or karate, they become an expert of them, but they don't become a master of either judo or karate. Likewise, similarly, if you leave aside the techniques, if you ignore the techniques and rules and just give importance to practice, you turn the learner into a comic situation, into a comic, funny state by making him or her an imitator, because grammar ensures accuracy while practice ensures fluency. Yes. Grammar make us sure about accuracy, and practice makes sure that we use English fluently. The solution, both of them are correct. We need both of them. The solution is to provide the learner with being an apprentice, a qualified apprentice, and a master, respectively, in harmony between the rules and the practices. Success never comes true, never actualizes randomly. On the contrary, it is based on awareness, effort, moderation, intention, purpose, motivation, determination, repetition, hard work, quality, labor, necessity, desire, hope, time, belief, resilience, and insistence. Diligence, yeah, okay. It depends on diligence. Acquiring English requires diligence. Okay, it's also essential that the presentation of knowledge should be as easy as going downhill. However, but nevertheless, the learner should make it harder by repeating, writing, and producing again and again, so that the learned knowledge becomes digested or becomes ingrained, becomes internalized and lasting. Reading books in English can help us learn and improve our English. Nevertheless, it's not the only way. We must also listen to some English songs, stories, ebooks, book reviews, cartoons, or dialogues, along with a constant English learning program. Okay. In addition to these, it's also advisable to find other learners like us to share our experience, to discuss what we have learned so far. Watching and sharing some useful videos in a group is quite a learning English boosting activity. LEBA, learning English boosting activity. Last of all, it's quite rational and natural that we have short-term and long-term goals, or we have to have short-term and long-term goals. Wherever we are, we must make use of whatever we find useful about our learning and improving English. We must actualize them one by one in a sensible context, in coherence, in harmony, in rationality. Contextualizing while writing or speaking is natural. We try to place the words, phrases, opinions, events, or messages in their most proper places. They must be in coherence. While coherence is quality, incoherence is nonsense or irrational. While listening or writing, we try to get the meaning of the words when they are in phrases, phrases in sentences, and sentences in contexts. We concentrate on the text and learn English naturally. We must be aware of the power of words, and we mustn't worry about the silence or interruption in speaking from time to time. It's also natural or normal even in our native language. Okay. As or because learning something happens step by step, it's not true to say, true to claim that English is learned in a short time. If it were true, if we learned English in a short time, everyone would learn it and, of course, would forget it. It's against the nature of learning, growing, and developing. It's a matter of making or having the learner learn, use, ingrain, digest, internalize the true knowledge, but not just charging, burdening, loading him or her with knowledge. Difficulty should be accepted from the very beginning because it was said destruction is easy, but building is difficult. We should accept difficulty as storing energy to proceed on our journey. Yes, we are, of course, we are building, okay? We are building our English, but we are also building our vocabulary. We are building how to use them. Yes, we are building our listening, understanding, reading, writing, etc., etc. It's a matter of building something new. And the true and the lasting success comes after rising above the difficult sequential steps or levels. Shortly or in short, or to cut the long story short, English acquiring is a matter of leveling up to mastering English. Okay, what does the gift say? How long will it take to master English, for example? How long will it take to master English? Of course, it's a beautiful question, an essential question. For example, how long did it take for Ahmed to master English? How long does it take to learn, to master English? As a rule, how long will it take to master English for me now. This is our business. Okay. How long does it take? As a rule, but how long will it take? May it take for us? It will take shortly. It will take 1 year. Mastering English can take, well, acquiring English, sorry, familiarizing English with English may take 1 year, and mastering English can take 2 or 3 years or a lifetime. Yeah, it is also valid for our native language. Our native language, our mother tongue should also be better and better every day. Okay. Now, so we should do what we should do. Okay. We should do what we have to do. Okay. So let's, for example, try to build our English by using those question words. How, for example, how far, how long, how much, how many, how often. Dialogue 2. Takes me about 10 minutes to go there. How long does it take you to get there or to go there? Okay. It takes me 20 minutes. How long does it take you to get there? It takes me 20 minutes to get there, to go there. Okay. How long does it take? So it takes. This is important for us. It takes. How long does it take you? How long does it take Ahmet to get there? It takes him 20 minutes to get there. This is important for us. For now. 3. The supermarket is about 1 kilometer far from my house. How far is the marketplace from your house? So the marketplace is 500 meters from my house. How far is it? It is 500 meters from my house. 4. I can go to the supermarket on foot or on my bike. How can you get to the supermarket, to the marketplace? I can get to the marketplace by train. Okay. Take part in as an expression means participate in. Okay. There are both in both of them. There are in both of them. Take part in, participate in, but join. It also means join. There is no in. Join a meeting, for example. But take part in a meeting. Participate in a meeting. Join a meeting. Attend a meeting. Okay? There is no in both in join and attend. Okay. Or participate in means be a participant of or be an attendee of. Be a participant of, be a participator, be a participator of, or be an attendee of a meeting. Okay. Dialogue 5. I also took part in language courses for 3 months last year, and we finished 2 books. What kind of courses did you take part in last year? What kind of courses did you take part in last year? I took part in cooking courses last year, or I took part in driving courses last year. Dialogue 6. I paid 300 liras for my books. How much did you pay for your books? I paid 150 liras for my books or for mine. They cost me, also possible, okay? Cost, cost, cost. How much did they cost you? They cost me 300 liras. How much did your items cost? They cost 150 liras. How much does it cost? It costs, okay, it costs 2 liras each, or it costs 2 liras a kilo. How much is it? It's 2 liras each, or it is 2 liras a kilo. Okay. 7, the 7th level is also about language, I think. I usually went to the language school. I usually went to the language school by walking, but I took the bus 2 or 3 times a month. How often did you take the bus? I took the bus once a month or twice a month. Okay. I used to sing English songs last year, but now I prefer German songs. I prefer singing German songs to English songs. What type of song did you used to sing last year? What kind of song did you used to sing last year? I used to, this one. I used to sing Italian songs last year. Okay. Dialogue 9. In fact, or actually, okay. In fact, or actually, I like all kind of music. So do I. So there is agreeing here. So do I. I like all kinds, what kind? A kind of, so all kinds. I like all kinds of music. B says, so do I. I agree with you, okay? I also like all kinds of music. So do I, or either do I. Actually, I prefer folk music. What about you? I prefer pop music. Now, of course, prefixes are important. We should have a general idea about prefixes and suffixes. For example, bio, relating to or using living things. Okay, for example, biogenetics, biophysics. Inter means between or involving 2 or more different things or places. Inter. Okay. Or intro, and interstate, a road that goes between states, interstate road, for example. Internet means between nets. Micro, and macro, for example. Micro, extremely small, mini. Microelectronics, microorganism, microcomputer. Proto, existing or coming before other things of the same type. Prototype. Okay. Techno, connecting machines and electronic equipment such as computers. Okay. And technophobia. Technophobia means dislike of computers, machines, etc. Technological tools. Techno literacy, skill in using computers. Ultra means extremely or above the beyond something in a range. An ultra modern building, for example. Ultra cautious, extremely cautious. Ultralight jacket. Ultrasound means sound that is too high for humans to hear. Infra means below something in a range. Infrared, below the color red. For example, interactive. There are interactive computer programs which react according to your actions. What kind of interactive programs are there? There are interactive learning programs, interactive English programs. What may interactive learning mean? Interactive learning may mean learning something together by affecting each other. By affecting each other mutually. Yes. Technophobia is someone, technophobe, sorry. Technophobe is the person who has technophobia. Technophobe is someone who does not like modern machines such as computers and would prefer to live without them. What does technophobia mean? Technophobia is the name of that problem. Why can't you join our online English class? I am a technophobe. I have got technophobia. Sorry. I have got technophobia, unfortunately. E is missing here, unfortunately. Okay. Phobia, an extreme fear. Yes, phobia means fear, but extreme fear of a particular thing or situation, especially one that is unreasonable. An extreme fear of something, particularly, specifically, something which is unreasonable, illogical, irrational. His son has a phobia of ants, for example. His son has a phobia about or of ants. Who has a phobia? Who has a phobia of spiders, for example? Who has a phobia of cats? Sinan has got a phobia of cats. Have you ever suffered from a phobia? No, thank God, I have never suffered from a phobia. Of a phobia of any kind. Okay, 13a, biotechnology or biotech, biotech means the use of living things such as cells, bacteria, etc. to make drugs, destroy waste matter, etc. What do they use biotechnology to do? They use biotechnology to improve healthcare, to improve agriculture, to save our planet, not to pollute our environment. So they use biotechnology to produce bacteria to destroy the waste. Okay. In the explanation. 14a, ultralight means extremely very light, not heavy, okay? Ultralight means extremely light, almost not heavy. Would you rather a normal laptop or an ultralight one? I'd rather an ultralight laptop. I prefer an ultralight one. I'd rather an ultralight one. Now, microcosm, macrocosm. What are they? 15a. The cosmos means, what does cosmos mean? The cosmos means the whole universe, especially when you think of it as a system. What do microcosm and macrocosm mean? For example, the galaxies, the universe is macrocosm, I think, but a microbe, a microbe is a microcosm. Okay, a human being is the minimized form of the cosmos, Likewise, the cosmos is the maximized form of the human being. So there is a natural and close relation between human being and the cosmos. Okay. 16a. Tamer has seen the prototype of a new laptop. The first type, prototype. From that prototype, lots of laptops will be produced. Okay, which company is going to produce it? XY company is going to produce that laptop. Okay. 17. Henry needs more practice to understand an article about technology. Who sometimes finds it difficult to understand an article about social media? Ahmed, yes, sometimes finds it difficult. Find something difficult. Find something beautiful. Find something adjective, okay? Ahmed finds it difficult to understand an article about social media. Who has no problem with understanding an article about ethics, chemistry, physics, and biology? Yasemin has no problem with understanding an article about ethics, chemistry, physics, and biology. So has no problem with something, with doing something, okay? I hope we are no problem with acquiring English step by step. Okay, level by level. 18a. Tony needs more practice to talk about teenagers' habits in the home or at home. Who sometimes finds it difficult to decide between playing table tennis and using the internet? My new friend Alex finds it difficult to decide between playing table tennis and using the internet. Who has no problems with writing an opinion essay? Jakub has no problem with writing an opinion essay. So, okay. Jakub has no problem or Jakub has no problems with writing an opinion essay. Communication is an advantage of the internet. Communication is an advantage of the internet. However, leakage of private information is a disadvantage of it, of the internet. Entertainment addiction. Yes, entertainment is an advantage of the internet, but addiction is a disadvantage, is a minus, is a minus of internet, is a minus of internet. Okay. Now the image says it's all about concentration and repetition. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. Give yourself the chance to ingrain knowledge in your brain. Our brain likes or loves repetition. We should give our brain the chance to ingrain, digest, internalize knowledge by repeating again and again. Yes, repetition makes perfect. Okay, quiz time. Question 1. Ersin is able to play chess blank. He can sing beautifully. Although, furthermore, nevertheless, for example, so the correct answer is furthermore and group. We will study them in the advanced level. Let me say it once, okay? Ersin is able to play chess and he can sing beautifully. Okay. We cannot say but here. 2. The supermarket is about 1 kilometer far blank my house between no to no From my house. Okay. Far from my house. They didn't have blank teachers in the class, but in spite of this, they did their work perfectly by helping each other. So they didn't have any. So B is true. They didn't have any teachers in the class, but in spite of this situation, they did their work perfectly by helping each other. Okay. B is true. 4, I am very busy in preparing a new project at the moment. Please drop in to my office for at least some blank time. Some another time or some other time, because time here is uncountable, for at least some other time. Okay. 5, blank students want to have a complete test on all the subjects after having had preparing test on each subject. Want to have a complete test on all the subjects after having had preparing tests. Preparing test on each subject. So many students, much, too much, all of. All of is not correct, because there should be the, all of the. So many students want to have a complete test on all subjects after having had preparing a test on each subject. Now, time to build. Okay, time to build our vocabulary. Vocabulary building. English acquiring. Vocabulary building. English building. Yes, unitive and divisive are two adjectives. All human good qualities are unitive. However, the opposite of them, the good, the negative qualities are divisive. It is easy or difficult. Is it easy or difficult to foster, to encourage, to cultivate unity? Of course, it is difficult to encourage unity because having good qualities requires diligence. They don't happen randomly. Okay, good things require effort and diligence. Building requires effort and diligence. Okay. Uniting means of or causing or involving or related to unity. Yeah, a nice explanation. Uniting means of unity, okay? Uniting means causing unity. Uniting means involving unity, or unity means related to unity. 1, 2, 3, 4 types of explanation. Yeah, unity means related to unity. Divisive means, as an adjective, having a quality that divides or separates. Okay. Foster means cultivate and grow something, stimulate something, motivate something, nurture something, encourage something. Yes. Human qualities: caring, humble, honest, lazy, moody, untidy. So being lazy is unitive, okay? Being moody, being untidy is unitive, like lying, etc., etc. Being jealous of. Okay. Diversity, what does diversity mean as a noun? Diversity is the state of being diverse, different, a respect and tolerance for diversity. Diversity of views or diverse views, diversity noun, diverse adjective. Diversity of perspectives, yes, we need. Every individual needs a diversity of perspectives, diverse population, diversity of species, variety of opinions or various opinions, multiplicity of languages, multiple languages, diversity, variety, multiplicity of languages are all possible. Diversity of cultures, diverse cultures, cultural diversity, cultural differences, these are all natural situations. Okay, on the brink of, on the brink of, on the verge of. If you are on the brink of something, usually something important, terrible or exciting, you are just about to do it or experience it. Okay. The country was on the brink of or on the verge of a big problem. Fortunately, they came or jumped or turned or got back from the brink of it. Yes, from the brink of a problem. Have you ever been on the brink of something unpleasant? When, how did you get back from the brink, from the verge of that thing? Yes, for example, I have been on the brink of something in the past. Once I was riding my bicycle and I was about to hit a wall, but unfortunately I turned right and I didn't hit the wall. So I was really on the verge of a big accident, something like this. Okay, consider is a very useful verb, and in the following videos, we will also talk about it. Yeah, it is very useful, in my opinion. Consider as a verb, for the first meaning, think about, seriously, assign, accredit some quality to, look at attentively, think of, doing. Okay. So think about seriously and accredit some quality to somebody or something. Somewhat or somehow, we can substitute somehow or somewhat with kind of, kinda, sort of, sorta. Didn't I write sorta? Slightly, moderately, relatively. There is no place in the sentence where they do not come. They come every place in a sentence. Yes, kind of becomes kinda, sort of becomes sorta. Yeah, with the same meaning, sorta. Okay. You can say, we are able to say, for example, it is a sort of gift. It's a sort of beautiful gift. It is sort of beautiful. Yeah, it is sort of beautiful. Okay. I sort about a gift. Okay. You put it almost everywhere in a sentence, wherever you want. You put it wherever you want. Okay. We will study them. Yes, in the following videos, we will also talk about them. Let's start from this one. Okay, A. I consider diversity as or to be or being. Okay, you can use either of them. Of course, one of them. I consider diversity as important. I consider diversity to be important. I consider diversity being important. All three are possible. Particularly diversity of voices, diversity of thoughts and styles. What about you? I consider uh, I consider global warming. Yeah, I consider global warming seriously. For example, I take it seriously, or I consider global warming seriously. Okay. Particularly, especially, principle, these are also useful useful words. Specifically, specially, notably, commonly, generally, usually, broadly, widely, okay, etc., etc. In the next video, we will see a lot of expressions like this, one by one, in a sequence. Okay, now let's focus on consider again as a verb. Okay, consider. 1a, we have to consider this point, means we have to think about this point deeply. We have to consider this point. Okay. For example, we have to reconsider again. We have to consider it again. We have to reconsider this point. We can also make sentence like this. We have to consider this point. Shall we not consider all the 7 points, or shan't we consider all the 7 points? Okay. 2, why is it important to consider culture shock? Yes, why is it important to consider culture shock? To think about culture shock deeply. Let's consider the project together, or let's consider the problem together. Okay. Do you consider it as important? Do you consider it as important? Do you consider the problem as important, or to be important? Or do you consider it being important? Consider something as to be or being. Okay. We consider you to be our friend. We consider you to be our friend rather than a customer, for instance. I consider writing a novel one day. Yes, I consider writing a novel one day. What do you consider doing one day? I consider learning English completely one day. I am considering meeting your uncle today. Are you also considering seeing him today? Yes, I am also considering seeing him today. I am also planning, considering. I am also considering seeing him today. So consider takes gerund after him. I am considering having a second meeting about the issue. What are you considering or mentioning, presenting at the second meeting? I am considering talking about, okay? I am considering talking about diversity in the nature. Okay. This problem is somehow different, somewhat, kinda. This problem is kinda different, sorta different. I'm not sure whether it will work or not, but it's somewhat a solution. It's somehow a solution. It's a kind of solution. It's a sort of solution. It's sort of solution. It's kind of solution. Is it clear? Yeah. I am not sure whether it will work or not, but it's somewhat a solution. It's kind of solution. Somewhat a solution, somehow a solution. There is a, but it's kind of solution. It's sort of solution. There is no a. Okay? It's sort of solution. Because kind and sorta are the short forms of it is kind, it's a kind of, okay? It's a kind of a solution. It's a kind of solution, pardon. It's a kind of solution. It's a sort of solution. Okay. A sort of becomes sorta. Okay. Somehow I bought, somehow comes at the beginning of a sentence. Somehow I bought a computer. Okay. It was somehow worn out. It is still somewhat useful for me. Your method somewhat differs from my method. Yeah, your method somewhat differs from my method. Okay. Our team was somewhat weak, but we somewhat won the medal. Okay. How will you live in this big city without a job? I can somewhat handle the money matters, but I can't tell if I will have a circle of friends or not. 7, my neighbor has written a long story, somehow successful, before Edward, somehow successful. Kinda successful, sorta successful. John is somewhat like his father. Okay. They are somehow having a good conversation. They are sorta having a good conversation. It seems that you are talking to your friend about somewhat what he wants to hear from you. Yeah, somehow what he wants to hear from you. Kinda what he wants to hear from you. You can use it almost every place of a sentence. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, and see you next time.